Hi, I'm Kyle Gorden, and I was a teacher in this high school for 39 years, and 20 plus years I was a teacher in this classroom right here. Now it's the Spanish room, but it's still a language room. Anyway, last April I was elected to the board, so I have been on the board less than a year. In the past 2 years, the board has approved to go to referendum 3 times. The first two, April of 2023, that one failed. And the one last year of November 2024, that failed. And the board is once again going to the public asking for funds to fund the operation of Elkhorn Area School District. Now, 3 times. Sounds a bit much, and I agree with you, it is a bit much. So how did we get there? Well, going to referendum is not a unique thing to Elkhorn. Matter of fact, of the 421 districts, public school districts in Wisconsin, in the past 2 years, 85% of those districts have gone to referendum. So you see, it's not an Elkhorn problem, it's a state problem. And what has gotten us to the point where 85% of the school districts feel that they need to go to the public to get funds to run the operation of the school district. Well, I'm going to go through that. But first of all, I want to identify 3 things. 1, when I refer to the state government, I mean the governor, the state senate, and the state assembly. All 3 of them are responsible for where we are right now. I also want to point out, second, is that the state has a $4.1 billion surplus. Of that $4.1 billion surplus, $1.9 billion is going to be saved as a rainy day fund in case we had something like a depression. So that leaves $2.2 billion open for the state government to decide at their discretion what they would like to spend it on. And the last thing, the third thing I want to bring up is when I'm talking about what has happened, I'm talking about public education in Wisconsin. I'm not talking about private education, I'm talking about public education. So let's go. In 1993, the state government capped spending for each district. The number of dollars that could be spent by the district per student. But an added thing to that was the state was willing to pay 2/3 of the inflation rate increase each year. So even though we were capped at how much we would receive per student, we would still get more money in the respect that the state was going to pay 2/3 of the inflation rate each year. In 2009, the state started defunding public education. They still paid the cap amount, but they got rid of the 2/3 inflation rate that they had been paying before. So if the state government said, if you need money to run your school district, you need now to go to your public, to your residents, and say through referendum, you need more money. If that had not happened in 2009, we wouldn't be talking about a referendum right now, because we would have been fine. Because paying for the inflation rate each year would have kept us above level. In 2021, the state stopped defunding education and stopped funding public education completely. These were the pandemic years. In 2021 to 2023, schools received federal funding to run their schools. We received federal funding to run our schools. The state at that time decided to not spend anything on public education during those 2 years. If they had, again, we wouldn't be talking about referendum, we'd be perfectly okay. But we didn't have that extra funding, we only had what was coming from the federal government. Then in 2023, we went back to the pre-pandemic funding, which for Elkhorn was $325 per student. We all know that inflation was extremely high. It was 8% plus during those years. For us to go back to the pre-pandemic funding, we already were losing in that respect. If the state had paid the 8% inflation rate, we wouldn't be talking about a referendum, or we wouldn't be talking about a referendum with as much as we're asking for now. So down the line, I would like to say, I would like the state to fund public education in Wisconsin. The state government has indicated they're happy with the status quo. They're happy with every district, if they need more funds, to go to their public to ask for funds. So that's why we're in the situation we are now. From the defunding to the no funding, we are asking for your support of the $4 million referendum that will be April 1st. Thank you.